Hi everyone, I wanted to take a minute to go over with you how to properly work your backlog. As you know, this is obviously only after you have gotten on the floor for a little bit and have a few sales. This is the screen that pops up when you clock in every day, but again, you're only going to have something pop up in these categories if you've actually made some sales, so it may take a few days for you to actually need to start working this. But basically what you're going to be looking at is you've got these first three columns. That's the most important columns for you to look at. The RTD stands for ready to deliver. That means anything that pops up overnight that now might be showing in stock, maybe it was on order and now it's in stock, that's going to pop up now on your backlog saying that it's ready to deliver, so it alerts you, in other words, to contact the customer to schedule. Another thing that might pop up on this ready to deliver RTD column is maybe if you sold it today, it was in stock already, and you are not ready to schedule it though, but you leave it as a type 1. That will continue to stay on this RTD column until you have changed it to a type 4. Remember, a type 4 is how you would, it's basically orders that we're waiting on the customer to decide they're ready to take delivery. So in order to get them off the RTD column, you would change it to a type 4 so that way it doesn't show in this column. The second column is the past due column. What that means is anytime you have a date in your order, meaning either under the delivery date or under a estimated delivery date, once we go past the date that you have in that order, actually the date of the date or the date after and beyond, it will pop up in this column. Again, the reason it does that, as an example, let's say for example if you have a customer that was a type 4 and the customer is not quite ready for their furniture yet, and so you put an estimated date. Maybe they told you they were going to be ready November 1st, and so you put November 1st in the estimated date. November 1st comes and it's now going to pop up on your past due, meaning, hey, that customer needs a follow-up. So you're going to touch base with the customer and say, hey, you know, I know we had talked about possibly November was your timeline of when you were going to be ready for this. I just wanted to touch base with you and see where we're at with scheduling delivery. Okay, so again, anything that pops in here means contacts needed with the customer to update the customer and also update the order itself. The way you would take them off this past due column is by now moving the date out. If the customer says to you when you called them on November 1st, yeah, our floors are taking a little bit longer than I thought and we're not quite ready, we're looking at probably 2 more weeks, then boom, I'm going to change that estimated date now to November 15th so that again on that date it's going to pop back on this past due date, alerting me again to call that customer. Okay, if the customer says, oh yeah, thanks for following up with me, I'm ready to schedule delivery, then obviously you would just go ahead and schedule it, and that again would take it off this past due column. Then the third column is the late PO. This column has to do with purchase orders, okay? So when you place an order, whether it be a special order or maybe it's something that we carry as active but they're not in stock at the moment, you're obviously going to be putting it on a purchase order coming in. So the date that you put in your order for the arrival estimation of the PO is what affects this column. So let's say, for example, you have an order that is showing a PO due November 15th. Always keep in mind those are estimated dates. But let's say the PO is showing due in approximately November 15th. So you put in your estimated order, in your estimated field on your order, November 15th. So if for some reason that PO gets changed to a later date, maybe it's running behind and either corporate has updated the PO or maybe someone else who followed up on the PO found out that it was delayed, so they went in and updated the date on the PO to now maybe be November 29th. It's going to pop up here on this column for you. Again, same reason, to make you aware an update is needed with the customer. The date I gave them has changed and I need to call them and make them aware, or email them and make them aware of the new date so that the customers kept communication. Then you would move your date out on the estimated date to the new PO date so that it takes it off of this column. So when we pull up, whether it be the manager or whoever pulls up this screen and they see people with several in the column, we know that means either they were not working today to update their screen, or they've not updated their screen, which means most likely they've also not updated the customer either. So let's go into this one here since it has the highest number. You're going to double click. Obviously this is a manager screen. When you put in yours, it's only going to pull your information up. And then you just click each box to go into each order to see exactly what the situation is. That's the way you would work your backlog. You're going to go into it, see what orders are pulling up, update each order. As you can see here on this one, we have 3 different orders immediately that's showing a type 6, which was a special order, that's now showing ready to deliver. So these have arrived at the warehouse and are ready to be called to schedule the delivery. If you go into the order memo, this person hasn't contacted them since November 28th. Again, they could be off today, but a lot of times the manager will notice that as well and also give them a call. Obviously, someone needs to call this customer, schedule delivery, put notes in the order if they left a message, or if they did schedule it, there needs to be updated notes, and then obviously you would go in and actually schedule it. That would take it off of this ready to deliver column. Okay, then on these type 4s, these have popped up. They were not the ones that popped up. They are only showing on here because they obviously are type 4, so any of the ready to delivers are going to pop up as a type 4. So if you double click on those, you're basically just going to go in and see, hey, what's going on with this order? Does it need any attention? This person left message for redelivery on 10/4, which is today. So the person is obviously there working the backlog. That's probably why there's only 3 here that's showing ready to deliver, because these type 4s will not show as a ready to deliver since the dates are out further than today's date. So he's probably updated some already, and that's why this shows 6 and does not match this 3 here. He's in the middle of updating it. Okay, so that's how you would work the RTD. Same thing with past dues. Let's click on this and see exactly what's popping up. Double click on any of the individuals. As you can see, the reason this one is showing is because it's got an estimated date of 10/4, which is today's date. So it's bringing alert and attention to the associate. Something needs to be done with this. Move the date out. Follow up with the client if the client was expecting it by now. Again, just to prevent any upset customers feeling that they've been out there hanging, just waiting for us to reach back to them, and we have never done so. This one here is a type 2. A type 2 means obviously that it's coming from the warehouse to the store for pickup. This sales associate has actually keyed this in as the wrong sales type. So a type 2 means it's a pickup, meaning coming from the warehouse over to the store for pickup. This is a mattress protector. A mattress protector comes from the store location. It's not going to ever come from warehouse. So they should have keyed that as a type 3, which means being taken from the floor. So again, these are things for you to be aware of that can help clear this stuff off. And also it looks like the manager needs to clock it, because right now it's showing OVR. It needs to be clocked to Clearwater location if they do actually have the mattress protector there. If they don't, they can put it in as a type 4. Again, the date would need to be moved out, because that's why it's popping up on their past due screen. Okay, so hopefully that helps answer that one. Then late POs, we'll just take a look at that as well. So let's look at the first one here. Shows a PO. If you notice there, let me move this down, the PO date showed due 11/11, but they have in their estimated date 10/24. Okay, so the the PO got changed. It got moved out to 11/11. So the sales associate needs to go in and update this date to that 11/11 date. Also update the customer to make them aware, again, to hopefully prevent any kind of upset customers for lack of communication. And then from there, it should remove it off of your column for past due POs. And you would simply do that with each one that's showing in your screen. This one here only got moved out a few days to 10/10, where they had in the order 10/4. So again, that 10/4 would need to be moved out to 10/10, and the customer should be contacted to make them aware that you've not forgot about them. You're checking the orders, and that it should be in hopefully within the next week or so, and that you'll follow back up with them. Okay, it's always a good idea if something does get changed to either check online from the manufacturer to see if it's accurate date, or call the manufacturer if they don't have it online, so that when you give the customer information, it's not false information. Okay, now keep in mind the rule is on this column, on these first three columns, first three boxes, anything more than 7 total. This one has 9. If you have more than 7, you're not supposed to take any ups until you've cleared the screen. Okay, so in other words, that means we see that you've got quite a few customers that needs following up with, so you need to reach out to the customers, update your screen, and then you can go on the floor and start selling. Once you have done these things, you would simply click this refresh button so that it would update with your new numbers to show what you've corrected. If it still shows over 7, you need to figure out what is still hanging out there that needs to be corrected, because there's not anything, once you've actually taken care of it, that should still remain on these 3 columns if you've actually updated it correctly. Okay, then these other screens down through here are not quite as important for you to look at, but there's something you should still be made aware of. Number 1, here under contacts, this person shows 15. When you click on that box, you're basically supposed to be going in and updating each customer so that they don't appear on here, because this is showing a communication was needed on each of these clients as of these dates. And if you've not updated the customer, it's going to remain on there until you do clear it off, and it'll just keep growing and growing if you don't stay on top of it. So basically, you would click on each customer, click OK, go into activity screen here. Once you go into that screen, you basically would just go in, see where it says no here. Anytime it has a no in the box over here, that no needs to be changed to a yes, meaning you've attempted communication with the customer or you did communicate with the customer. So in this case, what I would do, let's say I reached out to the customer and I left them a voicemail, I would simply highlight that. I'm going to go in and click on that so that I change it to yes. So I double clicked it to open this up, change it to yes, hit save. Down here it tells you what your options are to choose as far as what happened with that client. I put left a voicemail. It could be called and spoke to them, they walked into the store, you scheduled delivery, whatever the case may be, you're going to select it, and then you can also put notes here saying specifics of what happened with that client. Okay, and then you hit save to update that. It's saying more fields required, so obviously I need to put something in memos. I'm not going to add anything since I did not actually speak with that customer. I'm just put a couple of dots and I'm going to hit save. So what allows someone else in the company to do a swap with one of your orders means you got to have notes every 2 weeks in your order showing that you've communicated with your customer, whether it be by email, voicemail, phone, they walked into the store, however you updated or communicated with them needs to be notated, and you have to have it in one of 2 places. Number 1, you have to have the activity screen updated, or at minimum there needs to be notes in the memo on the order within the last 2 weeks. So clearly this one does not have notes in the memo, and also the activity had not been updated until I just clicked it yes. So that means that this person would have been available for a swap simply because they were not updated. Obviously this one didn't need it because it's only a Dry-Tech mattress protector. There's not going to be a swap that happens there, but if it had been a piece of furniture, it would be under the same guidelines. This obviously takes a few times doing this to really get comfortable with it. Once you get comfortable with it, it goes very quickly. It really is not time consuming at all, especially if you stay on top of it daily. Okay, so again, hopefully that helps protect you from getting potential